Okay, students, am I audible to you people?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible to you? Okay, should we begin with the class? Should we begin with the class? Am I audible to you or not? Students, am I audible to
Yes,
you?
sir.
Okay, today we people are going to begin with your module 6, okay, of your compensation and reward system subject. Fine. So in the last class, we people have completed with your module 5. Now, this is your last module of your subject, and a very few things which little, we can say that, in a brief, what has been given to you and to me to work on by the university, like, like you can go with the legal and administration issues in compensation, like global compensation also, where the compensation and the related laws or regulations which has been going to be laid down by any government or any authority or bodies, okay, in that particular area into which the organization has been situated, that has to be followed, and it changes from area to area. Okay, it changes from state to state. It changes from country to country. Fine. So anyway, before we go through this, in reality, in coming days, where you people can be in such a team where you are going to be drafting compensation strategies and related aspects of compensation in the organization. That time it can be helpful to you people, where all the organization before those people start with their own compensation policies into the organization, those people look into the legal aspects which are going to be affecting the decision making of organization with respect to the compensation. Okay, so when you talk about these legal issues, like there are certain issues which has to be discussed, no doubt, but it says that government has a very key, a stakeholder into taking a decision with respect to the compensation of any organization. So any decision making process which is involved in compensation related matters or issues, where government plays a very vital role, and interference of government is very high enough in controlling that compensation decisions of the organization. And there are certain, usually government will be having interest in looking after the procedures what has been followed, okay, by the organization in compensation decision. Okay, and where these procedures while determining the pay will be also going to be affected by the government regulations, where there has to be considered enough in that procedure, and then you can take a decision, what we say it as pay discrimination. Okay, where unfair things happen, you people set up pay for certain employees for similar type of jobs, similar type of skills. If there should be a similar type of pay which has to be paid to them. Sometimes the alteration going to happen due to the bias what any individual will be doing it, maybe on the personal bias, personal basis. Those people take it in a very lenient way, and managers or supervisors are going to alter them as an when it is required for them, as per their requirement they do it, which shouldn't be done. So that to reduce this pay discrimination, the laws are going to be governing them. Then next, safety nets for any unemployed or disadvantaged, people, to pay them sufficiently. Minimum wages has to be paid, or any unemployment insurance which should be paid for any individuals who will be working in certain type of sections or departments in the organization where there is a possibility that they can lose their life. Okay, maybe such a hazardous conditions will be there, risky condition to which those people are going to work for an organization. So somewhere unemployment insurance also should be done to them, where if any problem happens and they are not able to continue with the work, and to look after their day-to-day expenses, and looking after their dependents. So for that also, the organization has to think of it. Okay, so that's why the safety nets has to be also followed. Then we have employees are protected from exploitation, where over giving more job to them, taking the work from them even after 8 hours, whatever it is been specified by the government. Okay, more than 8 hours if somebody is working, maybe for that particular extra work, if extra amount is not being paid, and just without paying, the work has been extracted from the employees, I think that comes under exploiting the type of matters, where employee will be exploiting the employees and taking the advantage of their helplessness. So somewhere to pay them overtime if they're working, or taking a late child labors into the organizations, where those organizations will not be much enough in paying those child. If they are taking it also, there is something, a rule that after 14 years, and if the child has completed 14 years, okay, those people can be considered for a labor class. Otherwise, it is illegal to have labor, child labors into the organization. And there are certain issues, legal issues in compensation management, which has to be taken care, where the our legislation, or say laws related to the time that any employees has to work in the organization, and the wage which has to be fixed for him. Okay, that, or maybe the pension that employer has to look after, where after the retirement, what amount for his life, to make it the life more secure for him even after the job, okay, is over, after the retirement is over. And those amount of money which will be given by the employer should be decided well in advance. Okay, for related to that also laws, any employer has to look after, and some benefit legislation which should be given to them. Okay, as I told you, if somebody is working in very hazardous conditions, any illness comes because of that work which is doing, it's a responsibility of the organization in looking after that. What best facilities should be given to him, where the expenses related to looking after his health will be borne by the employer. Then and you have a tax treatment, tax related laws which should be followed, and anti discrimination legislation like access discrimination, where certain jobs which is been given to similar type of people, and promotion should be given in a similar way if they are working properly and meeting the standards of the organization. Okay, and everyone should have an authority, whosoever is an outperformer, okay, who reaches the standards with a very efficient way, and those all should be given whatever required benefits. If, they are liable for taking, have an authority of taking those extra benefits which they can get, like training opportunities, promotions. So this is what has to be given to them. And where valuation discrimination will looks at pay, the women protected groups, okay, and men receive for the jobs they perform. Even discrimination can also happen on the basis of evaluating a human beings on the basis of gender, though both the gender can give equal amount of productivity to the organization. If in such cases, the discrimination of pay shouldn't happen. Okay, so that what we say the valuation distribution, where evaluating people on the basis of gender is not wrong thing. Sometimes what happens is the provision is given if male dominated works like very hard work, lifting work, those cannot be done by the females. Okay, basically if you see, a male will be stronger than the female in general, physically, say biologically. So in such cases, even law also gives some provision that that can be paid. The discrimination can be done between the male and female on the basis of the physical work. Okay, so discrimination, pay discrimination can happen. Then wage and price control legislation, how much inflation is happening outside in the environment. Okay, and according to that, the pay can also be increased. So laws also say that how much amount as minimum has to be, salary should be paid to the people to look after their livelihood, like minimum wage act can be considered here. So major discrimination if happens in the organization is it happens because of pay, especially the amount of the maybe the money what those people get in return for the work what these people are going to do. Fine, it may be something cash compensation or maybe non-cash compensation. Fine. So here especially these compensation practices where pay may be discriminated on the basis of extra pay plans. Okay, the discrimination can also happen. This extra pay plan can be taken by all the people, no doubt. Fine. Sometimes what happens, that opportunity to earn extra will be given to only few people by the managers or supervisors. No, it should be open to everyone, and everybody should get an equal opportunity. Leave policies, okay, CL, it may be EL or CLA, sick leaves. It should be equal to everybody, and everybody should have an opportunity to access them as and when it is required. Maternity leave for women, what minimum period has to be given to them as per the law, that much has to be given to them. Okay, then pension policies, as we people have written in your previous slides, where from the day one, once any employee joins the organization, if he gets retired in the same organization, and whatever the pension policies, as per the pension policies, has to be deducted or added to his that particular savings has to be done by the employer. Then we have some how to prevent this discrimination, that wage discrimination. So we usually ensure that uh, we usually are going to ensure that equal pay should be given to the equal type of jobs and equal type of people with similar type of capabilities what those people have. Now we have first step that how best we can do is one, you have to understand the laws. Okay. For example, we have the Equal Pay Act, like requires that men and women receives equal pay for the equal type of work what those people are going to do. Okay. So you people have to understand the laws first. Okay. In the law, it may be related to the central government or maybe state government, or even sometimes it goes with the your countrywide also. Different country to country it differs. So it is a duty that any HR manager, when he is sitting for looking after the wage or the compensation, if they want to reduce the discrimination of the pay, okay, among them, they have to understand the law first, because they are going to be governing the decision making of the you know um, HR person. Then we have institute policy provision wage discrimination. Okay. Some policies has to be brought into organization where that will never allow anybody to do discrimination among the people for the pay. Then making decision based on the skills and the performance, purely people have to do it, where the pay has to be given purely on the basis of the productivity of the person. Okay. The discrimination will happen, no doubt, because somebody can give more productivity, and to giving due respect to the loyalty what those people are showing, being on the job for a longer time, giving more output to the organization and achieving the organizational objectives. So these were for such type of people, more amount of pay can be given compared to the others non-performers. So training the supervisors and as well as the managers, where just to avoid the wage discrimination what those people can do on being on that position, so helping them to understand how best wage administration is happening in the organization. Along with that, how best those people can retain it, it's also very much important. Then you have to document, okay, the guidelines for whatever you people are going to have for having a procedure of determining the pay to the different jobs in the organization. That guideline should be given how best it can be used, and the requirement for salaries and also bonus. Then sixth one, we have like step six, you be aware of the laws which has been laid down by the state or any local laws, which will be talking to organization that how best those people can prohibit the discrimination among the people. The seventh, we have like different sorry, the document has to be made ready. Okay. Which will be helping any organizations to defend themselves, okay, and justify their decision making with respect to the pay discrimination. So why the pay is given more or less has to be easily understood by each and everybody. For that, you people have to keep a documentation to justify the decision which has been taken with respect to the pay discrimination. So we have like audit pay practices, and always the pay practice what you people have in the organization, as and when it is required, timely people have to audit it and see to it that how what best upgradation can be brought, and that can be made very easy for the organization to maintain. Then also you people have to aim to hire and integrate and also diverse the workforce. See to it that the workforce which people are going to hire from the environment, external environment, almost all type of people should be there, different with the different skills from the different backgrounds, different cultures that can be brought into the organization. So we have provide timely and effective performance evaluations. Okay, and last we have like you do not stop any employees while those people are talking on some wages, right? So if they those people are talking on wages and discussing on salaries, do not stop them. Let them talk. There's no authority for any organization to look into that. Those people will not talk about that. So they have complete authority. Those people can discuss among themselves. Then we have something called like comparable worth. Okay, am I audible to you people? Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you. So we have next something like comparable worth, where this can be done. Okay, this can be done where when you people are evaluating the job and you people find that the jobs are very similar, and the people who are working with those jobs have a similar type of skills, and everybody can get a same type of value, okay, the worth. So what you people can do is there are four major steps which you people have to follow. One, you have to adopt a single job evaluation plan for all the jobs within an unit. Okay, so you cannot alter into a job evaluation methods for different jobs. So one standard evaluation of practice has to be followed by the organization, has to be decided by the top management, and or maybe an advisory team which is looking after evaluating the jobs within the organization. So the criteria, okay, our evaluation methods almost be the same way every type of jobs. So we have all jobs within with equal evaluation. Results should be paid same. Very common sense that all the jobs which have same type of worth has to be given same type of the salary to them. The wages should be paid. Then you have to identify general representation in each group. Okay, that has to be documented. In fact, you have to document it and found that what may be the general aspect within each group which is going to be represented. Okay, and the wage to job evaluation where point ratio should be based on wage paid for male dominated jobs, since they are presumed to be free of pay discrimination. As I was telling you people, where sometimes the discrimination happens, the ratio can be also stated, the point ratio can be stated where what has to be paid to the male and what has to be paid to the female in case it is differentiable, which cannot be done by the females and it can only be done by the males. In such cases, here it is okay, they are very free from the pay discrimination. So we have some budgets and administration. Usually we know what is a budget. It's a statement formally any organization is going to prepare for the financial resources, okay, which are going to be kept for different departments, okay, and how much it has to be given, because without resource running a department becomes very difficult. Okay, so these are the a formal type of statements of any financial resources set aside for to carry out certain specific activities which has been set by the decided by the organization for certain time period which is given to them. Okay, and also it will be helping to coordinate all the activities of the organization and all the departments, where it will be like a bound or a glue between every department to work on certain given activities if it comes to group type of activities. So this budgetary control is a type of a technique which can be used by any organization, fine, where the technique actual results will be compared with the standards which has been set by the organization. Budget is like a controlling device or technique where some standard has been set, how much amount has to be spent and what should be the output out of it will be predetermined, and whether it has been achieved or not on the basis of the actual performance and the output given by the employees. On that basis it should be calculated. So so compare the actual performance of the employees and the budgetary standard what has been set. In case any differences you people are going to find that whether maybe a budget which has been exceeded while going through the actual evaluation, budget has been exceeded, it means that more amount has been spent, okay, what was decided compared to that. So these differences are made at the responsibility of key individuals who can either exercise the control action if they exceeds the budget which has been set, or sometimes you people can revise the original budget. It is a sometimes what happens, the possibilities are there that the top management can under evaluate the resources which should be required to perform the activities, or sometimes they are going to over evaluate it. Depends where the standards which has been set are very high enough compared to the required one, probably you can re-evaluate it or revise them and come to a actual budget. And there are certain advantages of having this budgeting into compensation management, where this will be helping you people think about the future. Okay, and also it will be giving you an idea that probably the most important features of any planning over the budget, as well as control system. Then we have like promotion promotes the coordination and communication between the departments, because as I told you, the budget is not solely meant for any single department, where you find a sub budgets. Okay, once the amount is allocated to the department by the organization from the main budget, But still, here somewhere the budgets will be helping any organization to have a coordination among the departments and the people who are working on certain activities which has been predetermined. Also, it will be helping to understand or clarify, okay, the responsibilities which has to be taken care by different departments and the individuals as per the budget which has been set for them, and also helping you people to find the variance. Always, once the performance appraise will be to, as I was telling you people in your previous slides, where actual performance will be compared against the standards which has been set by the top management. Fine. So here, if the variance found that maybe the standard which has been not met is also in variance compared to the actual performance. If actual performance exceeds the standards, that also we consider it as a variance only, because there's a possibility that the organization has set a standard which is under evaluated. So somewhere it's a mistake from the organization side. Next time they can go with a higher standards compared to the resource available in the organization. Okay, fine. And also can be advantage, like it can take and help from the budget, budgeting, where it can be helping you people to rectify those variances which you people have found. So remedial actions can be taken for any variances that you people find. It also will be helping organization and employer to motivate the employees, okay, where those people are going to participate in budget setting, taking their opinion about how much the resources are required to perform the job which is given to them. Okay, then also it improves the capability of the organization or the management, whatever the scarce resources those people have, and how best it can be distributed among the different departments, and how best it can be effectively utilized. So there are certain problems in budgeting where budgets can be seen as a pressure device, no doubt, for all the departments. Because of that, what happens? Too much of work has to be extracted by the employees, by the supervisors. Somewhere there may be a bad labor relationships can increase because of the putting more of pressure and looking the human beings or individuals or employees as a machines, fine, just to reach the standard. Or sometimes record keeping, the mistake can happen in record keeping, how much has been allotted and how it has been spent. Because of that, can also be a problem for the organization. Now there's a problem which can arise between the departments due to the competition for getting more resource to their own departments. So disputes over resource allocation, that department can raise a question, or they can raise some problem that we had got very lesser resource compared to others. Probably the activity which has been given to us may not be performed up to the mark because of the resource which has been given less to them. So departments starts blaming each other if the targets are not achieved, where due to scarce resource, what those people find that resources has been given less to them. So tomorrow, if the target is not been achieved, all the departments start fighting with each other, or passing the buck, what we say, where the responsibility of taking the failure will be transferred from one department to other department, and each department will start fighting and blaming to each other that because of others, these people are also getting problem. And also, it is something where the budget cannot be reconciled personal. It's very difficult, and also if people cannot go through corporate goals. It's very difficult to reconcile. Okay, for each of them, whether you take personal, individual, or personal goals. So sometimes waste can also happen, where over resource will be given to them, much more resource compared to the required one for the department. That there's a tendency that the department people may say that if we don't spend that amount which has been given to us, probably next time the same amount may not be given to us. So somewhere there may not be a need for them for so much of amount of resource, but still if it is over evaluated and given to them, they are going to spend it, just because to say that next time also they can get the same. The competition to get the resource becomes much more. Then responsibility versus controlling. Who will take the responsibility, and what will be the controlling procedure? Who has to control it? So everything becomes very vague sometime when it comes to budgetary control. Okay, there are certain characteristics of a budget. What we have, one is a participation. So involve such a people that who are responsible for looking after outcomes of the budget. Okay, and also the people who are having a lot of experience in that, and the required people who can bring the best budget should be participants. Then comprehensiveness, that this means that the entire organization should understand, each and every individual from the different departments of the organization, everybody has to understand, okay, what exactly the budget is and how it has to be utilized. Then only the success of the budget can be expected. Then standards has to be set in such a way that at least uh, the level of performance what can be given by the people inside the organization, okay, individually or in a team or a group wise. Okay, according to that, standards has to be set. Now, in terms of flexibility, allow for changing circumstances where budget shouldn't be so much flexible. So the one more best is that budget can be altered as and when it is required. Okay, that flexibility usually the decision makers are going to keep. Then we have feedback. Okay, all the time people have to take the feedback from different departments, that how best the budget has been utilized, being utilized. Okay, how best those people are taking profit out of it, the gains out of it. Then analysis of cost and revenue, this also be done, which is on the basis of the product lines, the department expenses and the cost centers, whatever we have now, those all have to be clearly assessed and need to be known. Fine. Okay, so what we do, we'll stop here till here. The budget administration will be continued in your next class. Okay. Okay, any doubts you people have?
Yes,
Any doubts
sir.
that you people have? Okay, any other? Okay, then shall I stop the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. We'll continue with your other part in the next class, because next one more class is more than enough to complete your module 6. Fine. People can move out of the group.